Call to order this meeting of Ashcroft Council for Monday, May the 10th, 2021. I would like to acknowledge at the beginning of the meeting that former council member Lee Damaris sadly passed away last week. Many people in the community will have known Lee for many years. A fixture of the town, council member, a valued member of our community, much loved by many school children for the many that he drove on his bus over the years. He will be very much missed. We appreciate his many contributions to the village over the years, and our thoughts and prayers are with Sandra and the family. So I would like to move to adopt the agenda for the meeting, and that is that the agenda for the regular meeting of council held on Monday, May 10th be adopted as amended to include the minutes for the community forum held on April 26th under minutes item number 2.2. And Councillor Toohey seconds that. Are there any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. We have minutes, item 2.1. I would like to move that we accept the minutes of the regular meeting of council held on Monday, April 26th, that they be adopted as presented.
Second that.
Second by Councillor Davenport. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing and hearing none on the question, all in favor? Carried. And we have item 2.2, minutes of the community forum held on Monday, April 26, 2021. I move that the minutes of that community forum be adopted as presented.
Second.
Councillor Toohey, thank you. Any errors or omissions? Seeing and hearing none on the question, all in favor? Carried. We have no delegations this evening. We move on to item 4, which is public input. We invite the public to ask questions about items on tonight's agenda, with all questions and comments addressed through the chair. Are there any questions?
I have no written questions, but someone will be calling in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right now. Hi, Gloria.
Hi, Jessica.
Go ahead.
Okay, just a few comments, probably no questions. 2.1, in the minutes of the regular meeting, the public input questions have not been attached, although it says that they have been attached, so I wonder if that could be corrected.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry.
6.2, with regards to the invasive plant program, a lot of weeds spread, as you know, from vehicle traffic and are found in ditches before they start to spread further afield. And there's been a lot more traffic that's been coming from all over the region on Evans Road, and consequently, there's a lot of knapweed. I just walked it the other day. This should be treated even if you decide to rescind the motion to participate in the TNRD's invasive plant management program, because they are at seed and they're just going to spread like crazy. 6.3, which relates to the weed work as well. The union is stating that the weed work is work that they normally do, so contracting the work out would infringe upon their workload, yet they are too busy to do it. So the question council has to ask is, does the work need to be done in a timely manner? If left undone, what will be the consequences of that action? And if the council believes that it is important, then they should be looking at contracting the work out, as the staff cannot do the required work.
I don't think it's a question so much of staff not being able to do the required work. It's a question of finding, this is something that has been added to public works over the years. I doubt very much that 20 years ago anyone had heard of invasive plants, much less was dealing with them on a small municipal level. So this is something that the municipality is grappling with, and that will come up later on in the meeting.
Okay, 7.2, I believe that is the one that deals with the wood burning stove exchange program. And just a little bit of a contradiction, it seems to me. If council participated in a wood burning stove exchange program and then intended on having some open burning by changing the current bylaw, it just seems a little bit of a contradiction. So I would like to say, though, that there are a few wood burning stoves in town, and they are just as detrimental to the air quality. I've seen them on several occasions, and I've just seen how one or two can affect the entire air quality of the entire town. So this is something just to consider and think about. It's not just open burning that affects the air quality, but that wood burning stoves do as well.
Thank you. And just to comment on that, that is one of the reasons that we are considering this, and that the TNRD as a whole is considering this, is obviously recognizing the detrimental and well-documented effects of wood smoke from older or ill-fitting or ill-made wood stoves. However, just because the two things involve burning doesn't mean that there is necessarily a direct correlation between them. The wood burning stove question is quite separate from whether or not council will or will not at some point revisit the burning bylaw, and then possibly at some future point after that change the backyard burning. So I'm asking people, please don't confuse the two, because they are very, very separate and distinct.
Well, okay, I just look at them as both affecting the air quality, and that's what I meant by being a bit of a contradiction. And the last comment about 10.2, I think it's that section of the agenda. At a previous meeting, I had asked council if they were considering a community garden or a plot allotment or assignment. Now, eFry has a community garden. That means each box is dedicated to a certain food, and people can come and look after it or harvest it as needed. Anything that is left over, they then donate to the food bank. And I'm wondering if this is what council envisions, or will it be separate plots allowed for individuals for a fee, and the harvest in that case would be probably isolated for those individuals having the plots and not for the community.
It's my understanding that the working group that is considering the community garden is going to be considering various models. There are a number of them out there. I do not think that we are looking at the allotment style, which seems to be more of a European British convention than it is here. Here in Canada, in British Columbia, we have a number of different models for community gardens, whether it's a communal garden, whether people have their own individual boxes, whether people decide to keep their bounty for themselves, whether they prefer to share it with someone else, whether it's grown expressly for the benefit of something like Soups On or the eFry Society or the food bank. So all of that has yet to be discussed, and we will be coming up with a determination once all the angles have been examined and people have decided what fits our community the best.
Okay, if my comments can be forwarded to them. Just a final question with regard to it then. Is it envisioned that the garden would be kept locked, or would it be open?
I'm being told that we are looking at having it kept locked, but again, everything has to be decided. There is no decision, no final decisions have been made about any aspect of the design or the lockup status of the garden at this time.
And the plot that has been, I think you decided on the plot already at the extension of Heritage Park. Before, in 2016, you had looked at a plot that was across from the eFry Society. Is that no longer being considered?
There is no plot across from the eFry Society. The village of Ashcroft does own a very, very small plot of land which it acquired in a tax sale many years ago at the corner of 3rd Street and Bancroft Lane, I'm sorry.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah,
but
that's
it
where
is
it is.
far too small to put any kind of meaningful community garden on because of the location of it, the lack of parking, and also the close proximity to the river. So that it was a thought many years ago that might possibly suit, and it was quickly ruled out.
Okay, that's all my comments. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, with that, we move on to item 5.1, Inter-Community Bylaw, and I haven't skipped anything, no. Inter-Community Bylaw Enforcement, Bylaw number 842, 2021. What is council's pleasure on this item?
Let me find it. Just hang on. Yeah, I know, but I want to read it.
What page is it on?
That is on
Page
page. Where is it?
5 to 8.
Page 5 to 8, yes.
That's where I'm trying to get. Thank you.
I would like to move that we give final reading to bylaw number 842, the Inter-Community Bylaw Enforcement Bylaw number 842, 2021. That motion is seconded by Councillor Toohey. Is there any discussion on the final reading of this bylaw? All right. On the question then, all those in favor? Carried. Item 5.2, CFO report, 5-year financial plan commencing 2021, bylaw and tax rates for 2021.
There's no action required for that report, it's just for the specific bylaws.
Oops, sorry, we move on to the bylaws. I've got that many agenda covers in front of me that I'm getting confused. All right, so page 9 of your agenda. I will move that council give first 3 readings and adopt the 5-year financial plan bylaw number 843.
I'll second that.
Councillor Davenport seconds. Is there any discussion, comments, questions? Thank you again, CFO Bala, for your excellent presentation.
Yes.
No, look. All right, on the question, all those in favor? Carried. And I will move that council give first 3 readings and adoption to the 2021 tax rates bylaw number 844.
I'll second that.
Councillor Davenport seconds. Is there any discussion on this item? No? All right, on the question, all those in favor? Carried. All right, we move on to item 6.1, CAO report. We have a development variance application for Thompson View Manor. What is council's pleasure on this? Councillor Toohey.
Thank you. I would like to move that we go with the recommendation of staff that council approves the application as presented, and a notice will be placed on title advising future purchasers that this structure was approved.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Second, Councillor Anderson. Thank you very much. Is there any discussion on this item? Councillor Toohey.
Thank you, Mayor Roden. Just that I think it's great. It'll give them more space outdoors for relaxation, just all around fun place to be. And they need a patio somewhere that they can go, definitely.
Right.
So I think it's a great idea.
No, agreed. Any further discussion? No. On the question, all those in favor? Carried. Item 6.2, CAO report on the Red Cross wildfire invasive plant program. We do have 2 invasive plant programs, so it's just important not to get them mixed up because...
Your worship, you missed item 6.2, the Sophie report.
Okay. That, I have it as
Sorry,
item
which one?
6.4.
Oh, you did on mine at 6.2.
Oh,
Oh.
Well, that's interesting.
you got the old version.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. No, it's, so yeah, we're on 6.2 and that's 6.4. On mine anyway.
Yep.
So we have item 6.2 and we have a recommendation from staff. What is council's pleasure? Councillor Davenport.
I move that we take the recommendation from staff from the motion number R2021-50 that council endorses the Village of Ashcroft to participate in the Red Cross funded TNRD wildfire invasive plant management program for 2021 season. Be rescinded. Oh. Okay. Does that? Yes.
Yep.
Be rescinded and the Village of Ashcroft withdraw from the invasive species management program.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a seconder?
Marilyn.
I'll second that.
Councillor Anderson, thank you very much. And discussion on this point. This is the Red Cross funded program that would have been for 1 year only for this summer.
Okay.
This is not joining the Thompson-Nicola Invasive Plant Management Program. That's the subject of the next motion.
Right, okay.
So this would have been some Red Cross funding that the TNRD had available, similar to a program they held in Clinton last year and they're holding again this year, where someone would come in and help individual homeowners with invasive species plants on their property. Councillor Toohey.
Thank you, Mayor Roden. So is that motion saying that we are rescinding it, that we are no longer going to?
Yes, we had said originally that we would take advantage of this Red Cross funding for the summer of 2021, and the recommendation is that we rescind that and we do not take part in the Red Cross funding for the summer 2021 season. Councillor Toohey.
Thank you, Mayor Roden, sorry. Can it just be explained to me more clearly? I mean, I've read it, but as to why we don't want to do it for this year?
Okay, thank you. Director Benowith.
Your Worship, under this program and everything else, we've gone over the, excuse me, the contract that they sent to us, and we find it could be very onersome on the village, not only for getting liability insurance, but also the reporting, and also being able to document people phoning in for a lot on the public land. We don't have the staffing. We'd have to hire a contractor. We'd have to make sure that this person is trained. We have to make sure he's documented. We'd have to do quite a bit of reporting under this for whatever work he does. There's quite a detailed on what we're supposed to do for reporting under this contract. And also when we get into private lands, we're worried about what this might entail for staff to deal with public lands. We're not all invasive species experts, and they said that they will help, but a lot of it also says that we have to manage it too. So we're worried about, as in with our Tree of Heaven program, I mean, it was good, but you get a lot of phone call and it takes up a lot of time and a lot of staffing and trying to be able to supervise this. And we think with all our projects and everything else that we have going on right now, that it's not a very viable situation for staff and the village to partake in this program, because we think it could eventually become very onerous on us. We do still have our own employee staff that will be doing our regular weed maintenance and controls and stuff like that for that, so it's not like we're not going to be doing anything, but we're figuring with the additional of this and also what the details might come in for taking care of public lands, and what we have to do on that is a very gray area for us, and we're not sure, once again, for staff to be able to go down that road.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Toohey.
Thank you, Mayor Roden. I'm just wondering, is there somewhere that the public can contact to find out about things like that wouldn't necessarily be through the village? Is there somewhere they can find out about invasive plants, or what kind of are there some resources for people on their own without our assistance?
The Invasive Species Council of BC has a very informative website which talks about all manner of invasives. The Thompson-Nicola Invasive Plant Management Committee has a very good website and Facebook page as well, which has quite a substantial section about invasive species in this region, what they look like, so photographs, where they tend to grow, and how to deal with them. So those are the Invasive Species Council and the Thompson-Nicola Invasive Plant Management Committee are two really good resources for people who are unsure about that weird plant that suddenly started growing in their garden. There are also apps, and I don't mean this to sound flippant, but there's an app or several apps you can download where you take a picture of the plant and it will identify it for you. That is obviously not for everyone, but it is another tool in the toolbox. Councillor Toohey.
Thank you. Just one final comment is that I definitely understand, and I think it is the responsibility of people to look after themselves. We can't babysit And yeah, I just wanted it clarified so that people understand that we do care, but it's not necessarily the responsibility of the village, or we don't want it to become the responsibility of the village for people to look after their own properties. So
Well,
I think that just sort of clarified it all.
It is an excellent program, and very valuable. As I said, I know Clinton found it very valuable last year. I think it was one of those things that initially sounded really, really good, and then on a deeper dive was just found to be too onerous with everything else that we're
Yeah.
doing this summer. We
Yeah.
have so many projects on the go, as Director Benowitz said.
Yeah.
And we do not want to stretch ourselves too thinly.
Yep, understandable.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Councillor Anderson, Councillor Anstick, do you have anything? I'll make sure they know they
They
know
know
that
we
I
care.
know they're there.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion on this question? On the motion, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. And we move to item 6.3. This is about the ongoing Thompson-Nicola Invasive Plant Management Committee membership. And I would like to make a motion, which is that I would like to move that the discussion around the Village of Ashcroft joining the Thompson-Nicola Invasive Plant Management Committee be deferred until after it has been discussed during collective bargaining later this summer.
I'll second that.
Councillor Toohey seconds that. Thank you very much. Discussion. This is the ongoing program, and I think, again, this is another very valuable one. Obviously, bearing in mind what Director Benowitz said about the busyness of staff and crew, I would still like to see if there was some way that we could go ahead and become a member of this program if we can come to a suitable arrangement. As I said earlier, invasive plants probably weren't on the radar 20 years ago, probably. Not something that village crews thought they would have to be dealing with. It obviously is becoming more of a problem with increased travel, with the wildfires, with the fire breaks. So I think that give a chance for the bargaining to discuss this and have it hashed out and come back to council and see what the position is. Anyone else? No? No further discussion? Nope. On the question then, all those in favor? Carried. And now we come to the Sophie report. All right. I'd like to move that council approve the statement of financial information for 2020.
I'll second that.
Councillor Davenport seconds that. Any discussion on the Sophie report? No? No. All right, then on the question, all those in favor? Carried. Nothing for information. Item 7.1, May is Child Care Month. We have a proclamation to consider. Page 66 of your agendas.
My finger's not fast enough.
I'd like to move that the Village of Ashcroft proclaim that May 2021 will be known as Child Care Month, and that May 21st will be known as Child Care Provider Appreciation Day in Ashcroft.
I'll second that.
Thank you. The former child care provider seconds
That's right.
that.
I still am.
Yes. A little more unofficial these days.
Yeah.
Any discussion on this? Seeing none on the question, all those in favor? Carried. Item 7.2, interest in potential TNRD wood stove exchange program. And I've been asked to take something back to the TNRD. So I would like to move that the Village of Ashcroft expressed interest in becoming part of the TNRD wood stove exchange program should such a program come into being.
I'll second that.
Councillor Toohey, thank you. And discussion on this item. No? Nothing behind. Just a bit of background from the TNRD table. They are asking municipalities if they would like to be a part of this at no charge. It is largely aimed, I understand, at the electoral areas, which are more rural by nature and have more people living who might be finding it difficult to access electricity or gas, and so wood stoves are a way to heat their homes. And so it's just a way of cutting down on some of the older models that are still out there. Councillor Davenport.
And there is a wood stove rebate,
Yes.
part of the program, which
Yes.
is always good.
This is run by the province. As it says in the report, you have to apply. A number of communities, I believe Kamloops has been a regular participant in that. There are a number of communities that participate year after year, but you do have to reapply each year to be a part of the provincial program. And the province does then provide a partial rebate for people who are interested in trading in their older model wood stove for something that is more energy efficient and more emissions friendly.
And possibly safer.
Safety is another factor, definitely, with people heating their homes, choosing to heat their homes either through choice or necessity with wood stoves. We want to make sure that the ones that they're using are as safe as possible. Any further discussion? On the question, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. I will report back to the TNRD. And we have a number of information correspondence items. Do I have a motion to receive and file? Oh, Councillor Toohey
I was just
makes a
gonna do
motion to
that.
receive and file. Anyone care to second that?
Sure.
Councillor Davenport? Discussion on any of the items here? No? Just that if you know anyone who is interested in a job in the film industry, they are hiring lots and lots and lots of people for all these local productions. Councillor Davenport.
I just wanted to say a formal congratulations to Kevin Meaden for being the training officer appointment.
Yes, Kevin brings a lot of experience to that position and is a very valuable asset to the Ashcroft Volunteer Fire Department. Any further Councillor Toohey.
I suppose we also should congratulate Vicky Trill for her. She has now become
The branch president for
branch
the
president.
BCSCA.
Yes.
Any further discussion? I'll look over my shoulder on the question. All those in favor? Carried. Oops. And we have a number of working group notes to receive for information. I will make that motion.
Second that.
Second, Councillor Davenport. Any comments on any of the... I missed a task manager. Let's just backtrack here
Okay.
to the task manager. I'd like to receive and file receive for information the task manager.
Second that.
Councillor Davenport, thank you. Any discussion on any of the items on the task manager? The list is growing.
It's growing, we're keeping it a little more yellow.
Well, it's the color of spring daffodils, yes. Any discussion? On the question, all in favor? Carried. And receive for information the working group notes.
Second that.
Councillor Davenport. Any discussion on any of the working group notes? I saw that the tree assessment has expanded to all the village parks. Is that correct?
Oh, good.
Well, Your Worship, if I may, we'll start with the Heritage Park, and when the person who assesses the trees comes, which is
Arborist?
Arborist,
Thank you.
yep.
I always forget. When the arborists come, we'll start doing that inventory. We'll have a summer student follow him. I'm busily working and setting it up on our system so they can walk beside the arborist and record the species
Okay.
and
Yeah.
get the inventory going. And we'll start with that, and then as time goes, it'll grow.
Wow.
Perfect.
All right, thank you very much. Any discussion on the working groups? Councillor Davenport.
Just a comment about the Economic Development and Tourism Working Group. Just a reminder to the public to The village has a contest going for the remainder of May. Support in your Ashcroft restaurants contest, and purchase made at any of the establishments enter into a draw for 2 gift baskets, and the draw is June the 12th.
Any further discussion? Do it. On the question, all those in favor? Carried. We move on to council reports. Move to receive for information the mayor's report. Councillor Anderson seconds that. Thank you very much. Any discussion, questions about the mayor's report? On the question, then, all those in favor? Carried. And I would like to move that we take this into a closed meeting under Community Charter Section 90.1, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements.
Second that?
Councillor Davenport, great. On the question, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you.